What is up, 412? I hope y'all are enjoying the series. We're in our third and final week of In My Opinion, and this week I'm going to jump straight into it with a story. So whenever I was pretty close to y'all's age, I think I was in 7th grade, we had this big, what do you call them? An assembly. That's what it was. We had this big assembly, and the principal told us that we're going to consolidate our school with 3 other schools. And automatically, in my head, I had this opinion that I wasn't going to like any of these kids that are going to be in my class this next year because they went to a different school. I assumed you go to a different school, I don't like you because we're rivals in sports. I cannot be your friend. And you know, maybe you've thought something along the lines of you had an opinion about this certain group of people at school, or you had a certain assumption of these people at school, and you thought the rich kids are blank. Or all the people on sports teams are blank. Or the smart kids are blank. The cheerleaders are blank. Whichever clique or group of people that you can pick, they are blank. And you know, when it comes to people who are different than us, people we really don't understand, we let our judgments and opinions affect how we view them. And that's what I did with these kids from all these other schools that I was going to go to school with the next year. They're different than me. I didn't really know them or understand them, so I just formed an opinion, and that's how it was going to be. And you know, there's a story in John chapter 8 where Jesus tells us how we can get past our opinions and assumptions of somebody that's different than us, and how we need to treat people that are different than us. So we pick up in John chapter 8, verse 4. This is the story of the woman caught in the act of adultery. And these religious leaders bring her to Jesus, and they say, "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says we should stone her. What do you say?" And then the leaders believed that Jesus was going to follow the law, and they were going to tell them that she should be stoned. But instead, he did something that they had no idea he was going to do. So then in verse 7, we pick it up. The religious leaders kept demanding an answer. So he stood up and said to them, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." And then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. Jesus challenged the religious leaders to look inward at themselves and their own sin instead of judging this woman. So then we jump down to verse 10, and it says, "Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, 'Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?' 'No, Lord,' she said. And Jesus said, 'Neither do I. Go and sin no more.'" So what happens in this story is Jesus looked past this woman's mistake. These religious leaders brought her to Jesus. They were viewing her solely on this one bad decision that she had made, and they caught her, and it was bad. And then Jesus looked at her, and he saw her, and he said, "You know what? I can see past this one decision. You're so much more than this mistake, than this bad choice." And he viewed her for who she was and who she was going to be afterwards. It was more than just an opinion that these religious leaders had. Jesus knew who she was. He understood her. And you know, I think that's what we have to do with all these different kinds of people that we go to school with. We have to not just look at them off of the one mistake or one choice that they make, and that's what we form our opinion on. Because for me, in my situation, whenever I got to school the next year, I really gave it a shot, and I got to know these people. And by the end of the first year at the new school, I loved all the people that I went to school with. My opinion had changed. The assumptions that I made were totally wrong. And from that point on, I was great friends with all the people from all the different schools because I got to know them. And you know, they were great people. And the opinion that I had just kind of blurred my vision of them. But I got to know them, and I understood them just like Jesus did. Jesus knew who this woman was. He knew that she was more than this one mistake. And you know, there's more to others than just our opinions of them. Remember that. Circle it, write it down, put it somewhere. Keep it in your brain forever, that there's more to others than just our opinions of them. We have to stop, take time, and get to know them. And that's when you really can connect with somebody. So remember, the main point for this week, I'm going to say it one more time. There's more to others than just our opinions of them. I hope y'all enjoyed this series. Rumor has it that Sav is going to help me out next week. So fingers crossed. I love you guys. Have a great week.